Hi there everyone and welcome to this week's live stream GuitarQuest lesson. So this week we will be continuing on with GuitarQuest 4. We've covered about, we're up to about exercise 8 or 9, that kind of thing in the book. So we're going to be continuing on from there and seeing where we get to. So before we get started, just a couple of the usual things. So if you're on a device that has any notifications that might ping away, then always best to turn those off if you can. That gives us our half an hour's guitar time. And what else have we got? So yeah, if there's any children watching, I suggest an adult in the room just to help explain any ideas that they might struggle to kind of make sense of and that kind of thing. And also we have the chat function. So if you've got any questions, then please do feel free to ask away as we go. Just remember, you do need to be subscribed to ask a question though, as far as I understand. So yeah, please take advantage of all of that. And let's get started. So just one thing, I've just noticed this bag here. I'm just going to move that so it's not quite as unsightly, shall we say. Okay, so we're going to start with our tuning. So we're going to play this. I'm going to play the 6th string, and you want to make sure that your 6th string sounds the same. Okay, so from there we're going to tune it by ear. So we're going to play the 6th string 5th fret. That's our note A. So our open 5th string should sound the same, and if it doesn't, you just adjust it a little bit until it does. When you're happy with that, but that's what it should sound like, by the way. You'd go. So when you're happy, you go to the 5th string at the 5th fret. That's our D. This is the sound of the 4th string. So you play the open 4th string, and hopefully they sound the same. But if not, you just adjust your 4th string until it sounds the same as the 5th string 5th fret. And when you're happy with that, we go to the 4th string 5th fret. That's the note G. And that is the correct sound, and then our open 3rd string should sound the same. So you adjust that until it does. And so once you're happy that G is correct, we then go to the 4th fret on the G string. So that's the note B, which is our 2nd string. So we play the 3rd string 4th fret, play the open B, and we just adjust that if we need to, until they sound the same, and then eventually we finish up with the 2nd string at the 5th fret, and this is our note E. So we play that and compare that to the 1st string and adjust the 1st string until it sounds the same. Okay, so that's, we've been tuning it by ear for the last few weeks, so we're going to continue on with that just to make sure that you're comfortable with that rather than just using digital tuners all the time. So. And don't get me wrong, digital tuners definitely have their place, but good to be able to do it by ear as well. So let's just strum a couple of chords, make sure they sound okay, and as you're strumming them, just listen out and just think, does anything sound off? In which case maybe just go back and double check your tuning, and if not, then obviously you just carry on. So let's start with the G, whichever G you want to go with, i.e. just 3rd finger or 3rd and 4th, whichever. Just strum that and just think, okay, does that sound the same? Well, not the same. Does that sound good? Does it sound easy on the ear? If it sounds like it's grating in any way, something's not right. So just go back and check your tuning. Okay, so that's G. Let's go for a C as well, and a D. And we looked at the F not so long ago, so let's go for the F. Probably everyone's least favourite chord to begin with. Just see if you can get those 4 notes nice and clear, and then we'll just finish off with an E. Okay, cool. So that's all good. So what we're going to do as a bit of a warm up, now we tried this the other week as well, we are going to go and play the open string, open 1st string, your E, then we're going to go to F at the 1st fret with our 1st finger, F sharp at the 2nd fret with the 2nd finger, and G at the 3rd fret with the 3rd finger. Okay, and with our right hand we're going to try and alternate our index and middle fingers. Okay, so we go index, middle, index, middle. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to tap my foot along. I'm going to go just in time with the foot tap. So just 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to double it. And then we're going to double it again. Okay, it's kind of in 4s. So the first one we just play 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we double the speed and we play it twice. And then we double the speed again and play it 4 times. So it should always sort of tie up in length, if that makes sense. So let's give it a go. Give it your best shot. Remember, there's a few different things going on here. So we want to get the left hand nice and solid, and we want the right hand to be alternating on the fingers as well. So, okay, good luck everybody. Here we go. Okay, so 3, 4. So it's open, first, second, third, and double the speed. Repeat, double the speed again. Okay, that's cool. So let's try the same, exactly the same, but on the second string. Okay, so after 4, so 3, 4, and double the speed. Speed again. Cool. Okay, so hopefully that all was okay. You know, it's good just to kind of get, in terms of a warm-up, we're getting the fingers moving on the left hand, we're getting the fingers moving on the right hand, and we're also coordinating and bringing them together. So good exercise to try. Obviously, if you want to do that at home during the week or whatever, you can do that across any of the strings. And you can also go like the other way, so go frets 3, 2, 1, open. We might try that next week, but we're going to move on for today. So yeah, we will pick up now with exercise 7 from GuitarQuest 4, which is Sherry's Jig. So we've played this the last couple of sessions, so hopefully it's more or less okay. The key thing about this, and the new kind of idea that we've talked about in this section of GuitarQuest 4 anyway, is this idea of 6/8 timing. So previously everything we've been playing has been sort of 4/4 and 3/4 and 2/4 and that kind of thing. Now we're in 6/8. So our timing, we're counting to 6, and there's a sort of kind of more of an accent on beats 1 and 4 really. So it's sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's our kind of feel. And remember, because, well, in 6/8, we're thinking in terms of quavers, so we're counting in terms of quavers. So whenever you see a quaver in 6/8, it's worth 1 of that count of 6, which means whenever you see a crotchet, that's now worth 2 of the count of 6. So that's the bit that can trip people up well, I don't want to say relatively easily, but that's the timing aspect that trips people up usually. So anyway, I've waffled on. Let's have a go. So we're going to start on the A. Watch out for the F sharps. So there's a few of those, and there's also a few pull-offs. Yeah, no hammer-ons, but just a few pull-offs there. So okay, so after 6, just take it nice and slow. We'll do the various repeats as well. So just to clarify, when we get to the end of the second line, we're going to go back and play the first 2 lines again. Then play the third line twice, and then go back and play the first 2 lines for one final time. So, okay, here we go. So after 6, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Second line. And back to beginning. Second line again. Third line. repeating that line. Back to the beginning. Okay, cool. So, yeah, possibly I set off a little faster than I intended initially with that one. So, but we have played that in previous weeks a little bit slower than that. So, yeah, if you're okay with it, obviously that's brilliant. If you're finding it a bit tricky, then do go back and watch the previous lessons where we go over it in a bit more detail, or you know, this video gets uploaded to YouTube, so you can just slow it down, or come back to the video and slow it down a little bit, and then play along. And don't forget as well, I've got all the backing tracks on my YouTube channel, so you can just go and find that one and slow it down to whatever speed you want. Yeah, and just sort of see how you go with it, really. So so good luck with that one. And we are going to move on to exercise 8. Now, we also talked about this the other week. So this is the first arpeggio that we've discussed in the GuitarQuest course. So we've played a few chords before. So for example, like in this case, G. So we might play G like that, or we might play it like that, you know, whichever option you prefer, really. So whenever we play a chord shape like this, it's a combination of a certain set of notes. And so for a major chord, it's the first, the third and the fifth notes of the scale of G major. So those notes work out to be G, B and D. So when we strum this chord, say just the third finger down, no pinky finger, we're going to go G, B, D, G, B and G. So it's not necessarily always G, B, D, G, B, D, that kind of thing. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. What we're doing when we play chord shapes is we're making combinations and shapes with these fingers that allow us to play a combination of those notes that we need, not necessarily in theory, I suppose you could say, in the correct order. So for example, like a piano player may well play just the first, the third and the fifth, which is fine, that's all you need to do. As a guitarist, we would typically make a shape which is going to be a combination of those notes. So, just to clarify then, if you go for the fuller version of G, where you've got the third finger down as well, those notes now become G, B, D, G, D, and G. So the only difference is that note there, which is the B or the D on that second string, which is why both chords are absolutely fine to do. So, coming back to exercise 8 then, when we play the arpeggio, we are just playing those notes. So, to demonstrate, we're going to start, and you can basically make this chord shape, and that'll make it a bit easier. So you've got G to B to D, then G, and we're going to play an open B, then we play a D, and then G. So the only really tricky bit on that, I would say, is that third finger lifting on and off, or, well, being off to start with and then putting it down onto the D. So that bit. Now, having played a long time, I can quite easily lift that finger off whilst keeping my fingers in the rest of the shape. If you're newer to it, that might, you might not have quite that control over that, so you might want to work up to that. And in which case, just starting with these two fingers on the G and the B, get up to the second string, then add that one, and then add the pinky. That's absolutely fine to do. So whatever combination works for you, and then we just come back down it again. So once you've hit that G at the top there, got the D, we lift it off again to get the B, and then back down the rest of the notes there. So. That's that one. So let's try it together and just see how we go. So we're staying in 6/8. So let's see how we get on. Okay. So after 6. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. that's the arpeggio. Now, I did notice actually in terms of the right hand, and I forgot to do this, we're going to do the play, or use the thumb to play the first 3 notes, and then we go index, middle, and then back in reverse. So let's try one more time. Okay, here we go. So after 6, so 4, 5, 6, thumb, 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 index, middle. Oops, sorry, done that wrong. Let's try again. So 4, 5, 6, and thumb, 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 index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, thumb, thumb, thumb. Okay, yeah, so saying that out loud and playing is more challenging than I thought actually, but there we go. So please do have a go at that. You know, for this course so far has all been about fingerstyle playing, so trying to focus on the right hand as well as the left hand is quite an important thing to do, so try and include that as much as you can. But what we're going to do now is turn the page and go on to exercise 9. So, with this one, we're still in 6/8. We have a change in key signature. So we've got F sharp and C sharp. And if you ever remember, if you were watching some of the previous GuitarQuest lessons, then you may remember that if we've got F sharp and C sharp as our key signature, typically we are not going to play any notes at the first fret because they're just not going to crop up unless they're outside of that key signature, and in this particular exercise they aren't. So it means that basically our first finger can move up and start at the second fret, which is playing in the second position, and we want to do that because otherwise, if we're not going to play notes at the first fret and we keep our first finger there, then we're playing everything with the other fingers, and that just doesn't make any sense. So being comfortable playing in the second position is definitely something that you want to get to grips with. So let's talk about it in a little bit more detail as well. So in fact, if I just bring the music up onto the screen just so you can see it briefly. That is not... hang on just a second, sorry, I realised I opened up some other work there. So let's try that again. So you should be able to see that, and I'm just going to point out a couple of bits here. So that's come on to here. So semiquavers in 6/8. So because quavers are worth 1 of our count of 6, so in this first bar we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When we get to semiquavers, they're just going to be sort of the numbers and the ands, if that makes sense. So in the second bar, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and. So that's how the timing works with semiquavers. So let's bring that back off the screen. So with this one, you may notice as well, as we start, we're going to play D, then A, and then we're going to go for the note B, but actually we're going to get it 3rd string 4th fret, and we know that because in the music above the B there's a 3 in a circle. That tells us we're going to find it on the 3rd string. So if you know your fretboard well, then you'll know that you can get the B 3rd string 4th fret. So you've got D, A to B, then the D again, and then we're going to go to D 2nd string 3rd fret, and then C sharp 2nd string 2nd fret. So timing wise, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a couple of different things you can throw into that if you want. I'm not going to go into those in too much detail, but I'll just throw them at you and you can do them if you like. So you could hold that 3rd finger down on the B if you wanted to. That will give a nice little bit of harmony, but obviously that makes it a little bit more challenging. Alternatively, you could also bar your 1st finger across 2 strings, or 3 really, because we're not going to play the 1st string, so strings 2 and 3 are the ones we're interested in. So, and if you do that, then it just means you can get the A and the C sharp without having to move the first finger. Again, you could try that if you want. I don't think there's necessarily a lot to gain from doing that in this particular piece, but I'll leave that obviously with you guys, and let me know, you know, what do you think, what do you prefer, and what do you think gives the best result overall, because that's ultimately what we're aiming for. So that's the first bar. Let's go on to the second bar. It's pretty much, or well, pretty similar. So it starts off the same. Then we've got our semiquavers, and we're going to play these with pull-offs. So that becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and so again, I was barring. You could easily not bar. Obviously, because those semiquavers there are faster, it just means, I'm sorry, you've got a little bit more to think about in terms of that left hand and that index finger moving. So, like I said, just play about with it and whatever feels comfortable for you. So let's try just those first 2 bars together. Okay, so after 6. Okay, so 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And okay, so that's the first 2 bars. I should also have mentioned the bass note there, the D. We want to be using our thumb on the right hand, and then we're going to be using our index and middle fingers to play those melody notes in whatever combination that comes up. So yeah, as a reminder, typically where the stems point downwards, we want to be using the thumb, and where the stems point upwards, typically we're going to be using the fingers. Okay, so let's move on. So the third bar, same as the first bar. So nice and straightforward. Then as we come on to the second line in bar 4, starts off the same, but then we switch to 2 A's there. So just bar 4 again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's try those first 4 bars together. So playing second position with third finger on D. So just to clarify, if we're playing in the second position, it means that our third finger is actually going to line up at the 4th fret, which would be D sharp. So we don't want to do that. So you want to end up on the middle finger, and you don't want to kind of end up like that, as in fingers 1 and 3, but at consecutive frets, because we're always trying to keep this 1 finger per fret idea going. Certainly for now, anyway. So it should be, for C sharp it would be the first finger, and D would be the middle finger. On the B, sorry, just another comment, so the B is the 3rd string 4th fret, so yes, that would be the 3rd finger. Again, just with the logic of A at the 2nd fret, A sharp if we had it, which we're not going to, but that would be at the 3rd fret, and then B would be 3rd string 4th fret, 3rd finger. So hopefully that clarifies that. Okay, yeah, let's try the first 4 bars. Here we go. So 4, 5, 6. Onto the second line. Okay, so that's first section. So let's have a look at the next bit. So effectively we're sort of just moving things over a little bit. So we start on the A string now, 5th string, so it's open 5th, same kind of ideas, A to B, open 5th again, D to C sharp, same kind of thing as before, open A again, A to B, open 5th string for the A, and then C sharp and D. So I just play those 2 bars, so this bar's 5 and 6, so you've got okay, so similar-ish to the previous thing, it's just our bass notes moved. Okay, so let's go on to the 3rd line, so bar 7, again, kind of, I think it's exactly the same as bar 5. 8, this is perhaps where it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We've got the bass note on beat 1, semi-quavers, which is going to be on 2 and 3 ands. So 1, 2 and 3 ands. And we're going to do those as hammer-ons ideally. If you find the hammer-ons too hard, just alternate the fingers and get the notes out. And we'll do that for now and just keep working on the hammer-ons and pull-offs, because hammer-ons and pull-offs just take a bit of time to get that technique down. So you don't want to feel like, oh, I'm not making any progress, you know, if they're not quite sounding right. So just sort of work with where you're at, you know, and try and make it sound as best as you can, you know. So sorry, bar 8 then. So we've got the open A, and then we're going to do the hammer-ons, A to B, then C sharp to D, and then we're going to go up to the E at the 5th fret with the pinky finger. And do try and make sure you use the pinky finger, because it's very easy to neglect it and not build any strength, or not build as much strength and coordination and that into it. So do try and use that for the E, 2nd string 5th. And then the first finger will get the F sharp, 1st string 2nd fret, and then we've got a G, 1st string 3rd fret. So bars 7 and 8, I'll just play them to you. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. Then we go back to the beginning for our DCL coda. So then we play the first line again, and at the end of the first line we've got the DA coda instruction. So that's going to bring us down to bar 9. So we'll just have a quick look at that, and then we'll play the whole thing together. So bar 9, kind of similar really. So open D, A to B, and then we are going to finish on a D and an A played together, and just use your thumb and index finger for that. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I appreciate when I go over things like this in the lessons, you know, it's probably, you're not going to probably get it straight away. That's absolutely fine, I wouldn't expect you to. I mean, brilliant if you can. Yeah, this just gives you the guidance on how to practice over the week, basically. So let's have a go at it together. We just take it really nice and slow. Just try and join in with whatever bits you can manage, and then work on it from there. So here we go. Okay, so after 6, so 4, 5, 6. Semiquavers. To the second line there, 5, 6, bar 5. Sorry, my fault there. Bar 7. Bar 8. Back to beginning. Coda, and then we finish. Okay, so apologies, I did make I played a wrong note in there somewhere. I forgot to lift the finger off or something. So yes, just keep an eye out for that. I shouted it out as I went through, so it should be clear. Next week we'll play it again, and hopefully I'll at least get that note right. So but let's have a listen to the full track, because that is definitely correct and gives you an idea of how the whole thing would come together. So I will bring the music back up onto the screen, and let's have a listen. Okay, good stuff. So that is exercise 9, floating by. Yeah, it's just another one in 6/8 to have a go at. There's a little bit more of a challenge to it because you've got the key signatures with the sharps there. And yeah, just kind of see how you get on. As I mentioned, like with this video, it'll be uploaded, so you can, once it's uploaded, just find that bit and slow it down, or go to, if you go to my YouTube channel, just under GuitarQuest 4, there's a playlist for all the backing tracks, so you can find exercise 9 on there, and you can speed that up and slow it down, whatever. So yeah, great stuff. So that is a good place for us to finish up for today. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be back again next week. So we'll go back over this one, and then we'll push on with something new as well. And other things, yeah. So if you enjoyed the lesson, please do give it a thumbs up. That's is always good. And if you've got any comments, please fire away in the chat function, or if you're watching this back later and you've got a question, just pop it in the description, and I will do my best to get back to you. And I think that's pretty much it, really. So very best luck with the practice this week, and we'll pick things up again next Thursday. So have a great week, everybody, and I will see you soon. All right, take care then. Bye bye.